time now for MediaWatch on France 24. Emma James is here.
Hi there.
Welcome, Emma. You're looking at some of the online reactions to International Migrants Day, some making it a cause for celebration.
Yes, absolutely. And it does rather fly in the face of a lot of what we hear about migrants, certainly for the last few years. Normally the word migrant is followed by crisis, especially here in Europe. But the United Nations is making it a reason to be positive, saying we recognise the contributions and celebrate the vitality of the world's 258 million migrants. These are the words of Antonio Guterres, the Secretary General. Evidence overwhelmingly shows that migrants generate economic, social and cultural benefits for societies everywhere. And the man himself has also taken to Twitter to remind people that he too is a migrant. But he says, I didn't have to risk my life on the journey. Safe migration is a right, not a privilege. Something that I think a lot of heads of state right now, certainly here in Europe and in the US, might not agree with. And France is, as we speak, looking at tightening up its immigration policy, its approach to asylum seekers. Libération among those reporting the fact that for migrants it is getting harder and harder in this country. Now the photograph shows you the mountain ranges right near the Italian border. This is actually taken on Nevache near Briançon, and the line that you can see across the middle is actually made by human beings, 300 people who work on the mountains, who understand the challenges that are faced just being there. They're ski guides, people who run sort of refuges, that kind of thing. And they are there to form a corde solidaire, or a solidarity rope, to really highlight the dangers faced and the risk to life for the migrants who are trying to cross the border from Italy into France in that particular region, because with the temperatures as they are right now, it is very dangerous. But with the destruction of the camps in Calais, with the increase in expulsions here in France, the situation for migrants getting more and more gloomy, to say the least.
There has been some positive news, though, for migrants, though, from the Manus Island.
Yes, absolutely. One of the most famous residents of Manus Island, or the Manus Island Detention Centre, used by Australia, of course, on Papua New Guinea, is a man known most commonly as Eaten Fish. His real name is Ali Durrani, but he's actually a cartoonist who'd been held there since January 2014, an Iranian man who was seeking asylum in Australia, but was instead held in the detention camp, the very infamous detention camp on Manus Island. Now, he was known to be particularly vulnerable. He had been sexually assaulted in the camp. He had gone on hunger strike and was suffering very greatly, really, from the situation that he was in. ICORN has ridden to his aid, along with other people. ICORN, you may not have heard of, International Cities of Refuge Network, and they have 60 cities around the world that will welcome, in particular, writers and artists and offer them 2 years of refuge in their country. Interestingly, Paris is one of the cities involved, despite what France is currently saying about its immigration policy. We don't actually know where Ali Durrani has gone to, because that's a fairly closely guarded secret right now because of the way that the Australians have handled this whole situation. They don't want to really publicise it just yet. One other unusual or unexpected voice of support for those on Manus Island has come from Pamela Anderson, the former Baywatch actress, now a resident of France, of course. However, she's not talking about human beings, she is talking about dogs. She has written to the Immigration Minister, Peter Dutton, because there was outrage that one of the refugees' dogs, a dog by the name of Foxy, was actually thrown from a moving bus by police, Papua New Guinea police. It was as they were trying to move detainees to another location, and this dog was thrown out of the window. Nobody quite knows what happened to him, whether he survived or not. And she, in her role as she's a PETA spokesman, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, wrote to Peter Dutton saying animals feel pain, stress and fear just as we do, and such callous abuse is unacceptable and threatens everyone in your care. Lots of people very unhappy that she has chosen to speak out on this particular cause rather than that of human beings. Behrouz Bashani, an Iranian journalist who is also has has also been held for many years on Manus Island, says, "Thank you for your concern about the dogs. Please read this article about how the Australian government is treating people too. You cannot love the dogs without loving people." Now, Behrouz Bishani really has been a primary source of information about what exactly is happening on Manus Island, and this article talks about self-harm, suicide and assaults. And lots of people really a little surprised by her comments. This gentleman saying, "I don't know what she's on about. All detainees on Manus are being treated like dogs."
Finally, controversy, but an apology from one of France's international footballers, but it took them a little time.
It certainly did. Antoine Griezmann, for it is he, who plays for Atletico Madrid and obviously is a French international too, has caused a storm of controversy by going to an 80s party dressed as one of the Harlem Globetrotters. But of course, it's not the actual clothing that is the issue. It is the makeup, or more accurately, blackface. It's not just blackface. He's actually done his entire body to really get the effect there. It's something that some people felt they couldn't see what the problem was. What is racist about it? He's just having fun. And he himself actually took to Twitter initially to say, "Calm down, friends. I'm a fan of the Harlem Globetrotters. It was a great era. It's an homage." Now, obviously, lots of people reacted fairly strongly, not really thinking that he'd understood. Sad to see this from one of my favourite players, but our skin is not a costume to wear for fun. People struggle through life just for having this skin, so it should not be worn for entertainment purposes. Now, he did eventually apologise, saying, "I'm sorry if I hurt or offended anybody." Well, he certainly did, but there we go. That's Antoine Griezmann, probably not dressing up like that again anytime soon.
Emma, thank you very much indeed. Emma James there with MediaWatch. You're watching